What kind of shithole country do we have to be to make communist China look appealing? Communism, not that bad. Free healthcare, my kids don't get shot at.
So I've been on Rednote this week, and I ask all the people on there, what are some things about the United States that you want to know are true, or if you think they're propaganda? Y'all, one of the questions that they ask is if it was propaganda or if it was true that Americans go into debt over medical issues or healthcare problems. And yeah, I was like, no, that's not propaganda. Like, that is true. Another one was asking me if it's true that Americans live paycheck to paycheck or if that's just like a propaganda myth. I'm like, no, that's true. And then another question was, is it true that they charge Americans tons of money to go to college and you have to go into debt to get an education? And then I was like, yeah, that's not propaganda. That's also true. Then they asked me if it was true that 21% of Americans are considered illiterate who are adults. And I was like, yeah, that's not propaganda. That's also true.
Yeah, and they poison our food, they poison our water. We don't have education, we don't have affordable housing. Kids are being shot in school, books are being banned, schools are closing, they're being defunded. We're scared of being shot.
The best unintended consequence of everyone downloading Xiaohongshu, you see what I did there, is the fact that they just found out that cars in China cost $15,000 brand new. And not only do they cost $15,000, these have top-of-the-line, state-of-the-art technology. And also, yes, you can get it in pink and your interior can be custom with no extra cost. But you can't buy that here in America, even though it's a free and fair market. And corporations here in America buy stuff from China all the time. Why do you think you can't buy a brand new $15,000 car custom with top-of-the-line technology from China? Okay.
For anyone curious about what's happening on Rednote, well, let's just say we're finding out a lot. Check this out.
So here I'm buying 300 grams of bread, chicken breast, some eggs, water, some vegetables and food for my cat, and this is 61 yuan, which is like less than $10, like it's like $9. What do you think, guys, about this?
So Americans are now finally coming to terms with the harsh reality that has surrounded the American people for decades. And that harsh reality being that the United States of America is nothing more but a third world country wearing a designer Gucci belt. Not my words, by the way. Now, to come to terms with this harsh but accurate terms of reality, all it took was a possible ban of TikTok there in the United States. So, what's the solution for the American people? Oh, let me see. Why don't ask the American people run to the Chinese, who is essentially the enemy of data protection, and join their biggest social media platform called Rednote, or as the Chinese say, Xiaohongshu. That's the solution for the American people. Honestly, you cannot make any of this up, because thanks to Rednote, right, Americans are now finding out that the United States, the self-proclaim of the so-called land of the free, is nothing more but the land of the brainwashed, that lacks democracy, safety nets for its own citizens, and basic human rights. You know, the very fact that 9 elderly congressmen are able to decide the fate of a whole nation exceeding over 200 million people tells you all you need to know. God, please save TikTok.
I've been on the Redbook app for all of like 10 hours, and here's what I love about it. Within the first like 10 minutes, Luigi edits. And from Chinese people, the citizens of China love him. I saw a girl with the scrapbook, okay? And there's Americans commenting on those videos like, what the fuck do you know about Luigi? And they're like, that's boyfriend. They love him. Two, they're so nice and so lovely and welcoming, and we need to behave, okay? I already saw one of you do the butthole spread thing. The butthole spread thing. Behave. Oh fuck, I only chose 1 minute. You can post pictures and like memes as comments under people's videos. And they have a bunch you can choose from, or you can post your own. And their fashion is incredible. I always knew that they had like beautiful cultural fashion, but I didn't know they had drip, and they have drip.
I posted a video on Rednote of my town, the part of town I live in Los Angeles. I live in K-Town, and the comments were like, they were flabbergasted. First of all, actually I had to make a whole second video because people in China did not believe that this was Los Angeles. They were like, there's no way. Now I did specify that not all parts of LA are like this, but I just live in a low income area. A lot of people said it looked like India. Looks like India. Looks like India. The blogger is very beautiful. As for the streets, they're dirty, messy, and poor. I don't believe it. This seems like it was filmed before. Is this the #1 country in the world? The United States is shocking to me. I would even believe if you said this is India. You don't see such dirty streets in China. I can't believe this is Los Angeles, Hollywood. The streets in Africa are like this. This is incredible. I racked my brain and could never have guessed that this is the famous Hollywood is actually like this. It's completely different than what we're shown in American TV shows. Previously, we hardly saw any negative news about American life. Yeah. We think that everyone in the United States lives in a big villa. I've made videos before with comments I've gotten from Rednote about people being like, oh, you guys only work 3 hours a day, right? Like, you guys, like, gas is cheap, right? LA depicted in Chinese Americans is not like this. It's clean and modern, low prices, peaceful, harmonious communities. Again, I did explain that LA is huge and there's different areas, but they were still pretty shocked because, oh, this is so nice. Is this kind of scene that should be in Hollywood? I guess they were really surprised because, you know, some of them, as I've gotten to know them, have learned that I'm like a content creator living in like Los Angeles. You know what I mean? Like, and that like the way my life looks on social media, like Instagram stuff, like red carpet events and stuff, they were like really shocked to see the area I live in, like near MacArthur Park and stuff. So it was kind of interesting to like explain, like, yeah, you know, like what you see online or even in the media, like they don't show all aspects of American life. They really like show the highlights, kind of like we do on social media. So it's actually encouraged me to be more like, not that I was being dishonest on my social media, but make more of an effort to show what my everyday life is like, because there are so many people that are like famous or whatever that like you see where they live and you're like, oh, you're poor too. Like a lot of this is just like BS. Do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I thought I would share some of those comments with you guys.
So I don't need to know who needs to hear this, but in China for law school, they only pay around $800 a year for law school. Comparable to the US, you know, you're paying anywhere between $250,000 to $500,000. Do with that information whatever you want.
I've been spending a lot of time on Rednote, and we are being lied to. The Chinese live so much better than we do. We're being lied to. I have seen from big cities to the countryside, and they are living much better than we are. And we have to wake up. Their housing is cheaper. Their food is cheaper. Taxes are cheaper. They have great transportation. The only thing that I've noticed so far is that higher education is much more expensive. But the majority of things, they don't even do credit checks when you try to get an apartment or a home. They are living better than us, and we're being lied to. We have to wake up. We are not number one in standard of living. We are not number one in health care. We are not number one in transportation. We are not number one in anything in this country. We're so far behind. We're so far behind. We're at least 20 to 50 years behind. It's embarrassing. People, we have to wake up And we have to start demanding from the people in power, because we deserve better. We deserve better, and we need to tell them, and we need to make them do it. They work for us. We have to remember that. They work for us. And I will say it again. The Chinese are living much better than we are. And I don't care if it's anti-American or whatever. I don't care. They're living better than we are. And I know they're probably showing the best right now on this app, but I can still tell they're living better than us, because I see all the transportation options they have in their city that we don't have. I see the apartments that are so much cheaper than ours and so much nicer than ours. I see the way they treat each other. I see how low the crime is over there. We have to wake up. We are creating mass poverty here in this country, and that's what causes crime. It's going to get worse. We have to learn how to start working together. And I don't care if you think that is some communist ideal or whatever. It freaking works. This individualism crap, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Fuck off. Let's help each other. Let's help each other live better. Stop competing with each other and try to have a good and healthy society. That's not communism. That's just fucking common sense. We have to get this bullshit out of our head that we have been dealing with all of our lives. They have fed us bullshit. We're not number one, people. We are not. We are embarrassingly not number one. Start waking up. Start waking up.